going good. I'm excited. I think we got some pieces this year that we were missing last year. So I'm just really excited, especially now that we're getting to play some other teams, seeing some good stuff right now. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I think this year's going to be really different than last year. I think everybody has each other's back this year. I think that it's like we're more of like a together than just playing on the court. And that's what we was missing last year. It was just everybody was trying to do their own thing to a certain extent. And I think now everybody's truly playing for each other. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. So.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun getting to coach these guys every day and be around them. And we made a big effort in recruiting in the spring to bring in guys that, I mean, yes, the basketball part was important and all that. That we need really good players, and we have good players, but not compromising whatsoever on the culture. And now going into year 3 of this, it takes time. Like, you're not going to be able to do that overnight, and I've learned that, and now I do feel like our culture's in a really good spot, and the challenge now is to fight to sustain that every single day, and it's a daily intention on everything we do of making sure that it's where it needs to be, and every guy we bring in now we got to keep taking the next step there. So it's been an awesome fall so far, and now, like Brandon said, we're playing other people and seeing what translates and what we're good at. We found some things after our first scrimmage we needed to work on, and I like where we're at. We got a big one this week, and we just got to keep getting better. Yeah, I'll say this. Like I said, the most important part with bringing those guys in was that they're the right kind of guys. So from a chemistry standpoint, from a team cohesiveness standpoint, I think the recruiting of the certain type of people we brought in, I think that takes care of that. Obviously, there's different personalities and guys mesh and this and that, but as far as like on the court, it's a lot. Like, we're having to cover a lot in practice. But I'll say this: like, this is the first fall that I've had with returners, because obviously the first year none. Last year really one, and Aiden that played. That was it. And then now this year at 6. So even from the first week of practice, like, I could even tell, all right, I know these 6 guys. They know this drill. They know what we're doing. They know how we do things. They know how I want stuff done. They know what our standard is. So that, to me, has been like, they've done more of implementing and bringing in the new guys as far as all that stuff than even I have, and which is what our program's supposed to be, and that's what it's becoming. So I'm really proud of them for that. And then offensively, we're doing some new stuff. We brought Will Acuff in from Lipscomb, and he's brought in some awesome offensive ideas, and he's done a great job there. And defensively, we're doing some different things too, and keeping some things we liked, adding some things that we wanted to get better at. So it's new for everybody, and we're working every day to implement everything and get going. But it's been a lot of fun. I'll let these guys kind of speak on that too, with bringing in the new guys.
Yeah, I think for me, when I seen all the new guys coming in, I didn't really know how well we would click together, because I mean that's just like natural.
Yeah.
But when everybody got here, like day one, it was like I knew them guys. It felt like I knew them for my entire life, and it was the same exact way when we finally got on the court that first day of open gym. And then we just kept building and building and building, and now like we know each other's tendencies, what everybody's going to do at practice every single day, who's going to bring the juice, who's not. And I feel like everybody's we're just all clicking, and I think it happened quicker than anybody really expected, and I'm glad it did.
Yeah.
But we just got to keep building on it and implement it, I guess. So.
Yeah, I think Coach did a really good job of recruiting the right players, obviously. And like Tyson was saying, from day one, we've all just really got along with each other, and every day we just kept going, building that up. And I think we got 18 guys that are all very unselfish, and I think that's a really big part on the court and off the court. So that's what I'm most excited about.
With bringing in so many guys, there were so many spots for guys to have to come in and fill. You could go down the list. I think everybody, you guys, I don't know how y'all feel. Like, I think everybody's had moments where it's been like, wow, that guy brings something we need. Like, I'll start with some of the older guys like Jay and Max. Those guys have played a lot of college basketball. they're very experienced. They're very mature. Again, they're the right kind of people. They're the kind of guys that you can plug in there, and we have them for a year, but it feels like we've been with them forever already. They're just awesome guys. They bring it every day. They know how to lead. They know how to act, and they're good players. Like Jay's really, really strong. He's versatile. He's kind of a matchup nightmare in multiple spots, whether you play small, whether you play big. He's bringing a lot to the table. He helps us on the glass, which is somewhere we struggled last year. Max does a lot of different things. I think he's versatile too. He's got good positional size. He's athletic, and he's just going to keep getting better. You go down the list, man, and I don't want to miss anybody. Like you got to talk about Derek Moore, a local guy who comes here from Delta State, who I've coached against for 2 years. I mean, he's a difference maker, man. He's physical. He rebounds every ball, whether it's in his area or it's not. But the biggest thing that no one else really sees besides us is like he brings it every single day in practice, almost to a fault sometimes. But he's done a great job. Gosh, there's so many of them. Camden Andrews, I mean, he's coming in and he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove. Coming from Nova, and he wants to come here and he's a really, really good player. And he takes us defensively to another level, and he's a really good offensive player too. Awesome guy. Who else are the old guys? There's a lot of them. Let's see. And then we got a bunch of young ones.
Yeah.
Those are really all the old ones.
I think there's a big people don't realize the difference between like getting a bunch of freshmen and getting transfers. And
yeah.
I think it's a lot bigger of a chance you're taking on getting these transfer guys, and sometimes they can come in with like a sense of entitlement or selfishness, whatever. But there's none of that.
There's a risk. Anytime you bring in transfers, there's a risk. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that I'm really, really happy about that we've done. Like we brought guys in, and like when you have a group of guys like we have, if somebody has that to them, they stick out. Especially the longer we go. Like first week, you can hide it. Second week, you can hide it. Third week, all right, that looks different. That looks different. And then by the time you get to October now, it's like, all right, somebody really stands out. No one stands out yet with that stuff. And I think if they were going to, it probably would have happened. But again, it goes back to having returners, and like these guys, it's been way less me, it's more them. Like I know whether I'm there or not, Brandon, Tyson, Aiden, Jalen, Cole, and Reese, if something doesn't fly with how we do things, they're handling it. And that's the beauty of where our program's headed. That's why I'm so excited. That's why I sleep so good now, because I know when I leave here and I go home that whatever's happening over there, like these guys are regulating it. And that's a great feeling. But yeah, we got a bunch of freshmen. We got guys from kind of all over, Atlanta, Virginia. We got Bryson Andrews, who's Cam's little brother, Carter Wesson, O'Neal. We got Eccles, Stevens, all these guys, Owen, Jaden. Like they're all playing a part, man, and it's fun to watch kind of the pieces to the puzzle come together. And it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, that is the biggest part of it. And not to mention, like this kind of it didn't all start when all these guys got here in the fall. Like these guys were a big part of the recruitment process of a lot of these guys that we have in here now too. So they were really a part of whether you call it the weeding out process of recruiting or what. Like when guys come here, we put them with these guys, and they know what flies and what doesn't. And so it started there, but yeah, man, having returners and having guys that have played, like you look at like us three, Aiden Gardner, Cole, Reese, Jalen, like there ain't nothing we're gonna see that we haven't been through together yet. Like we've been through the wars, man. We've been through the wars, and we've had some highs, we've had some lows, but we've been through all of it together. So we can draw on those experiences, and there's going to be stuff this year. Like we're going to have really good moments. We're going to have moments where, all right, we got to get better. And just knowing that you're in the foxhole with guys that, number one, you've been through it with, and number two, that you know have your back. And I know these guys all feel the same way. Like that's where you take the next step. So I don't know what that means as far as where things are going to end up this year, where it all shakes out, because there's a lot that goes into it. You got to stay healthy. Sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. But I do know that I'm comfortable with the guys that are in that foxhole with us, And it all starts with the 6 guys that are coming back because we've been through these wars together. And I'll let you guys kind of take that. I know I stole the mic there.
That's all right. Yeah, like Coach said, like last year we seen a lot of things. It was a lot of bus rides back where we were just kind of sitting wondering like what was going to happen next. Like it felt like a lot of
long bus rides.
It was a long season, long bus rides. But I feel like the 6 guys that are here last year, I feel like we never like wavered from that. Like even though we were going through stuff and it didn't seem fun, we still found some fun in it. And I feel like we brought that back this year. We're not really too much worried about what all happened last season. We're ever worried about the guys that we got now, and we know that even when we hit the bad stuff, we can still find a little bit of joy in it, and we can just go back and get better. And I feel like everybody that's with us now has that same mentality, and that's why I think we're going to be really good this year.
Let me touch on something he just said, like talking about joy. We've had some really tough practice. Like, you know, you get in this preseason part where it's like these 2 or 3 weeks where it's a grind. I mean, you're out there 2 hours a day, and you're playing this really before you play somebody else. Like, I've been a part of teams a lot where you go through those practices and you get to like Thursday of that week, and it's like, can we just get this thing over with? And no one's really having a lot of fun. I mean, we are grinding, and it's like tough, and like these guys are still like, they're still having fun, man. They're still having a lot of fun. They compete, they get after it. They know the line of like not being too goofy, but I think it stems from their chemistry together. They like each other a lot. You know, that's been fun to coach. It's fun to coach because like it's not a grind to me. Like this is what I do. But you know, with college kids and they're out there, it's Thursday that week and you've practiced 5 days in a row and you're like, you get to an hour 50 into that last practice and you got to finish that thing right. It can wear on you, and like these guys haven't shown that, and that's been so much fun to coach. I mean, it's just been all focus. So I'm glad he brought that up. And then the last thing that he brought up that is important, we're not talking about last year, and we ain't talking about we never talk about what happens tomorrow. Like we have made an emphasis to focus on what can we do today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen November 8th and 9th when we open the season. No one knows, and if anybody says they know, they're wrong. So we have to do whatever we can do today to be the best team we can be. We just got to get better today. And I think over the long run, you get better every day, it's going to work out. So good. Brought up some good points there, Tyson. Nice job. The awesome thing about these returners is they're experienced. And these guys, they got thrown into the fire at a very young age, like right after birth, all right? So they got thrown in. So that's what's been awesome is their experience. Like there's nothing he's going to see, which he's going to be a little higher up on scouting reports now, all right? But there's nothing he's going to see that he hadn't seen, all right? There's nothing he's going to see that he hadn't seen, all right? And I am a big believer. Same with Aiden. I mean, Aiden's been here. This is 4th year now, and 3rd with me. Like we've been through about it all you can go through. Like we've lost some really bad ones, and we've won some really really good ones. But I just think their experience and what they've gone through, it just equips you. I'm a believer in you have to fail before you can succeed. And we have gotten there, and we failed. And that's okay. But you don't waste a failure. You learn from it. And now I'm excited for these guys. I'm excited for what's coming for these guys because they've been through it, and they're ready. And it's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch them grow.
I think especially like with us freshmen last year, like me, Tyson, Reese, and even Jalen and Cole, like Aiden's been here for 4 years, but last year was our first year of Division II basketball for 5 of the 6 returners. So I think experience, like we've all had at least 1 year now of Division II basketball. So I think that's a really big part of this season is experience.
Yeah, I mean, like last year going to Delta State, yes, we're all focused. Like I've been there 12 times. It's not new to me, but they're walking in there and they're like, all right, I'm in Cleveland, Mississippi. Never been here before, and never stayed at this hotel. It's different. It's just all new. So, like he said, was it 5 of the 6 hadn't played at this level before? So now they've been everywhere in the league, and it's just a mental thing that you can focus on a little more on basketball than just like figuring things out.
I would say, as far as like the brightness, I feel like everybody brings like something new, like a new like happiness, I guess. But one person that I gotta shout him out that really stands out to me is Reese. That dude, like, he's like somebody like truly different. Like, don't matter what he's going through, he's always gonna be happy. He's always gonna pick somebody else up, and I feel like Reese is like a huge part into why everybody can have such a great attitude about anything that happens, because that's all he ever has. He never has a bad attitude about anything. I feel like all of us do, bring it to the table, but Reese, he takes it. He takes the cake. So that's the person I think that came back that really is showing everybody else how to act and all this stuff. So
I can agree. I've never seen Reese have a bad day, ever. And that's a pretty good way to live. This is what I'll say about that. In all honesty, probably a smart pick. You know why? Because we finished 9th 2 years in a row. Tied for 8th last year. I think 9th or 10th the year before. Like, we haven't given anyone a reason to pick us above that. It's probably a smart pick, And I don't blame anybody for picking us there. I probably would pick us there too if I was on the outside, but I'm not. I'm on the inside, and I know what these guys have. And, man, that stuff, the preseason stuff, no one knows who has what. That's great. All I know is when we tip it up on November 8th, everybody's 0-0. And more importantly, I know when we play, I think Lee in here on December 5th, in the first conference game, we're 0-0 and they're 0-0. I'm pretty sure they're picked higher than us. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure they are. But those standings are earned night in and night out, and through a 22 game season. And I don't know where it's going to shake out, but I know that these guys will fight every single night, and that's what we're going to do. I would say, and I talk to coaches in the league, watch interviews, stuff like that. I would say one thing that was really consistent with feedback I would get from people that watch our team, other coaches in our league that we coach against, play against. I would say one consistent thing that we got last year that I heard throughout the year was that no one plays harder than you guys, okay? So I would say that is something that is pretty important to make sure that people keep saying about us. I don't know what this team's identity is going to be, and you don't know until the lights come on. You really don't. I mean, you can say this is who we are in practice and all that from a basketball standpoint. You don't know what your team's identity is going to be until you see what it is against other people. But I do know that if our identity is that we are going to play harder than everybody on 28 nights a year plus however many more we get, I'll like our chances. So to me, that's kind of where I sit on that. I'll let y'all take it from there.
Last year, obviously, what he said, we always played hard, but we had, a few missing pieces here and there. But this year,
lost some depth.
I think we're playing just as hard, if not harder, but now we got some other pieces, so now we just have to put it all together.
Same thing. Working hard, playing hard. I think that's what we're going to be about this year. And we got some more people that can come off the bench and help, and everybody can just be interchangeable. And it's not going to be a huge drop-off whoever goes in. So.
No, yeah, that's a good point. Like, every day is competitive in practice. I mean, it doesn't matter who's on what team. I mean, it's a battle. And I think iron sharpens iron with that stuff. And, I mean, there were a bunch of stuff, a lot of stuff defensively we did late in the year that I really liked. A lot of stuff offensively we did late in the year I really liked. So we're going to take some stuff from both ends. It's nice having personnel back that you know what they can do. We're piecing it together, and I love our depth. I like where we're at. We just got to keep going. I would say I love the pace we're playing with right now, which you can't play at that pace unless you have depth, and that's why I'm really excited about our depth. I love the pace we're playing with. I think we're getting better and better offensively, which is really fun to watch. Taking care of the ball, but our pace and our energy, I really like, and I think playing against teams that play as hard as we will and do at the pace we play at, I think it's hard to play against. So to me, that's what I am really excited about watching us, is just the energy and the pace and how we can keep coming at you in waves. So that's been fun to coach, and I think that's hard to play against. So I'm excited about that. You guys got anything?
Like like Coach said about the pacing stuff, since you already hit like on the basketball part of it, but like I think the way everybody like talks at practice and like talks while we're doing stuff. No, there've been some days where he had to get on us about like, not open up our mouth, but like seriously, like for the majority of it, every single day, like it's so hard to hear in here. Like when we're shooting and stuff, like everybody's screaming and yelling and just having a good time, and I feel like that's actually a great like piece to have when you're on the court playing, talking to each other. So that's what I would say.
Well, we had a nice long film session Monday. Nice long hour and 5-minute film session on Monday with some things that we did not do well Saturday. I don't want to throw many specifics out there, but we got to be a little better getting to guarding the 3-point line, and that's the way we play defensively. That's always going to be something that we've got to keep an eye on. Stuff like that. We got to keep being better on the glass, because if you're really good on the glass on both ends, you're gonna have a chance to win. So I wouldn't say there's stuff that we just have to. We're super lagging behind here. It's stuff that like every single day, and it's my job that we are making sure we are taking care of this. We're taking care of this. We're taking care of this, and nothing's sliding every day. Like we got to keep moving everything in the right direction. It's like a lot of spinning plates, but you got to keep them spinning. You can't let one of them fall. And we're doing a lot of different stuff on both sides of the floor. So we're asking a lot of these guys, and they're answering the bell every day. I mean, they come in and bring it, and it's a lot of different stuff. But hopefully, as we get going, a lot of it and all of it becomes second nature, and the more it becomes second nature, the faster your feet move, the less your brain moves, and then you just take off. So we're not practicing right now. We're not practicing for November. We're practicing to be the best we can be as the year goes on. And we want to be our best in March. So that's kind of the goal, and it's a daily task.
I think Coach preaches this a lot. Don't get bored with the basics.
Yeah.
So like all the little stuff, do everything you do, have an intention about it. So don't just go through the motions, whatever. So I think that's a really big part of our practice, is whether it's the simplest drill, do it with a purpose and don't get bored with it. So